Welcome, everybody. It's Frank Klezitz with Viral Marketing with Michael Perna, one of the top agents in Detroit. And you've read the write-up. We're going to talk today about the changing market. First off, the Federal Reserve is deliberately trying to lower prices and put us on the verge of a recession, but not too close. If they could do it, navigate a good landing, it certainly doesn't feel like that, does it?
No,
Michael?
we'll find out in 6 months if he's going to
Yeah, we'll find out. Right?
really hard to thread that needle.
But we thought it would be good to share with you here, um, some of the fundamental things you need to do to make sure that you keep the pipeline going when it's not as easy as it's going to be in the past couple of years, arguably maybe over the past decade with artificially low interest rates as they systemically raise them, right?
Yes.
So we all know that the foundation of prospecting and marketing. So prospecting, we can do a whole other webinar on that, Michael, on
And
calls and numbers and making calls, and that's probably where you should start. But this one here is, everyone's going through kind of cutting. Maybe I was spending a little too much here, a little bit too much here, remargining the business. And one of those areas is probably, coming back to the fundamentals of marketing, which Michael has done an incredible job with, of communicating with the database, the most profitable list of customers that you fall back on whenever there's a change of market correction. Well, you never should leave it, but it's easy to leave it in a good market. So I thought we'd interview Michael today about what's going on in the state of Detroit and how he's feeling. All right. So be honest, Michael. And then what you're doing and what you're teaching your agents to return to the fundamentals of the marketing, database marketing that complements the prospecting that you have to do. So my first question, Michael, let's get right into it, is what's going on? Tell me what's going on, man.
the market,
with market.
Yes, the market has been, I mean, it went from bananas from the best real estate market. I've been doing this 21 years, the best real estate market over the last 24 months that I had ever seen, to all of a sudden, it's like screeching the brakes. Right? Like everybody's very concerned, especially buyers and sellers right now. Everybody's very concerned about where home values are going to go. They're concerned about buying a home, concerned about selling a home. Where am I going to go? And then when I do go there, I've got to pay a 7% interest rate, but I have a 3% interest rate. So everything has changed very rapidly. And the way that we're teaching it with our team is we were in a speed-based market. Okay. And what I mean by that is the first one to open a door got the client. And that was the heavy lifting. So like, let's take your generic Zillow lead or realtor.com lead or Facebook lead or pay-per-click lead, and they say, hey, I want to go see this house. We had to get out there fast, otherwise they would miss it. And the consumer and the clients knew that. So the speed of which we were able to get to that house and open the door determined whether or not we were working with that client. From there, things like the skills like getting a multiple offer situation, getting our offers accepted came in, sure. But at that moment, it was all speed. Now we're moving into a skill-based market. And where I see that going is we're going back to more of a typical market for all my friends on the Zoom that have been in this business for, let's say, more than 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm talking about, where people are not jumping out and writing offers in the first 2 to 4 weeks like they were before. Now it's 90 to 120 days of follow-up and overcoming a lot of the emotions and the objections and the fear with the interest rates and the fear of the market to get from here to there. So we're moving into more of a skill-based market where we've got to be razor sharp on our scripts, our dialogues, and most importantly, our follow-up.
So let's talk about that follow-up. Real briefly, talk to me about prospecting. What's the foundational message of prospecting? And then I think it's appropriate to talk about the 36 touch.
No, fantastic. And that's a great question. So for us, what this looks like is we're calling our sphere of influence, our past clients, our database once a quarter. The number one objection that I get when I'm teaching this is, what am I going to talk about with my sphere? I can't just talk about anything. But so what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to give you 5 things. Guys, if you have a pen or you have a note section on the phone, this is the time to grab it and write this down. When you're talking to your sphere, and I actually wrote this down so I wouldn't forget it. Let me flip over to that page real quick, because I do tend to forget things. When you're talking to your sphere, the questions you want to ask is, hey, what questions can I answer for you today? And they will say nothing, we're good, right? And say, great, do you have any questions about the real estate market? Do you have any questions about rising interest rates? Would you like me to perform a CMA on your home so you have a good idea of what you could get in the market? Because that's always fun to know. Do you have any questions about sales that have taken place around your current home? And then last but not least, do you have any questions about the national real estate trends? So the reason why we go with 5 things is because I do want to actually get into a real estate dialogue. And if I ask a couple of different questions from a couple of different angles, the no becomes a, yeah, actually, I am curious about interest rates. I am curious about what happened 6 months ago that caused the Fed to raise rates, and what are rates even? Like, we in the business, we really pay attention to this stuff on almost a daily basis, or at least I feel like we do, right? So it's no surprise when two agents are talking to each other and both know that the interest rates are now 7% and that there are a couple programs to get those interest rates back down for buyers. That's no surprise. But when we're talking to the general public or the consumers, I'm always very surprised that the consumers themselves, most of them don't know rates are above 6. And most of them don't know that there are some loan programs out there like the 3-2-1 loan or the 2-1 loan. So we really got to dig deep with those questions in the conversation so we can get the information relayed to them that the consumers need to make the best decisions for their family.
Just in your office, Michael,
Yeah.
what are you doing to get people to actually make their calls from a human standpoint? Maybe this
Great.
is something for Austin.
Yeah. Well, and also I'm going to turn it over to you in just a second on that one. But one thing that we're doing, like I'm teaching a class myself called Sales Mastery. So it's a 4-week course, 2 days a week, right, for 3 hours. But 2 of the 3 hours, today was only 1 hour, but going forward, the rest of the sessions, 2 of the 3 hours, we're actually prospecting together. Right. So what that's looking like for us is we're picking one script, we're picking one type of call. Today was sphere of influence, and we're role playing that script, which I'm happy to send to anybody out there that's on the phone. It's a great script. It was developed by Bill Pipes and John Chiplak. But we're role playing it together 10 times, and then we're launching out and calling. Now, here's a fun fact. I've got 11 people that were in my class today. Okay. We called for 45 minutes. Every person made 15 phone calls. So that's 161 phone calls. Okay. Out of those 161 phone calls, between set appointments and nurtures, we have 42 potential referrals or people that indicated that they want to transact themselves sometime in the next 6 months or less for a total volume of 5.6 million.
I like those numbers that you calculate that.
Well,
It's good.
yeah, I
No,
know.
it's good. It's motivational.
That was the very last thing we did. I wanted to make sure we added that up in that class because I wanted to show the power of what just 45 minutes or an hour of prospecting can actually accomplish when we're very focused on what we're saying, we're focused on who we're talking to, and we're using the scripts and the dialogues.
Austin, right now, so we don't forget, can you find that script and email it to me?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Frank@getviral.com.
Yep, got it.
So I can get up in the replay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. All right. So again, we could do a whole other training on prospecting and what to say and just kind of overcoming the humanness of call reluctance and just doing it and reaching out to people. But that script helps when you know what to say,
Oh my gosh, it so does. And
right?
you can go a little foundational if that's okay for just a moment. And I'll get more into the tactical where we're going to want to take some real notes. So the number one thing I'm hearing agents say is, I don't want to call my sphere because I don't want to bother them. Is that fair?
Very fair.
You
Or
put
I
that-
don't want to even, if we get into the marketing, I don't want to email them too much or post too much.
Email them
You
too
know?
much, post too much, don't want to mail them too much, don't want to send them too many videos, any of that stuff. But here's the reality of it. For me, if you the things you look at will change if you change the way you look at things, right? So I started looking at it differently. Like I would rather bother my sphere during a business work day so that when I'm at a family event, when I'm at a wedding, when I'm at a birthday party or any of those things, I don't have the pressure where I feel like I need to talk about real estate because I already got that conversation out of the way myself with them before. So what we were doing was we were opening this call with a, hey, Frank, it's Mike Perna with the Perna team. This is a business call. I want to make it very clear. I was calling for business purposes. Now I'm going to wrap back around and talk forward with them later. Absolutely. I want to talk about family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. I'm definitely going to nail at least one or two of those on every phone call, no matter what. But I want to make sure that they understand this is a business call. I'm calling them for a business purpose. And once that's out of the way, it relieves a lot of pressure for me that when I see them out and about or we're, at my aunt's birthday party, I don't feel the pressure of having to talk real estate because I called them a month and a half ago with that. So I can be present in that situation.
That's great. Good. How many people a week do you want your agents to speak with?
That's a great question. So we're looking for them to have 10 conversations per day, 50 a week. That's it. It sounds like that phone will get a little heavy on you sometimes, but if you can commit to 10 conversations per day, you're going to be closing 5 million plus in business, period. Like you have to work real hard to not do that.
Now let's transition. If we had that as the foundation of making the calls and the prospecting with the right scripts and the right human environment to motivate you to do it, which you have, Michael, on your team, have done a wonderful job of. Now let's transition to 36 touch of building the list, sending things out, and following up with the people who engage. So let's just start with the very top of this. If someone's speaking to 50 people a week, Michael, you know the answer. what should they be doing at the end of that phone call?
At the end of that phone call, they should be making sure they verify all the contact information they have. They've got their email address, they've got their phone number correctly, any other phone numbers that we need, and of course their mailing address. All of those things we want to make sure we have. For
What do
sure.
you say on what do you say on the phone to ask that contact information so you can put them on the touch plan?
Sure. And that's a very, very easy one. Hey, Frank, you know what? I do a market report in the area that goes out every month by email. What's the best email for you? I'll make sure you're on it. That's it.
And they will give it to you.
They 99.8% of the time.
Why don't more people do that to get off the transaction treadmill of having to prove themselves to strangers over and over and over their whole career?
I think there's a lot of phone fear. I think there's a lot of nervousness. I know that I get nervous when I'm calling my sphere, right? Like the phone can weigh 1,000 pounds on that first call. It gets lighter as you keep on going. There's the fear that somebody's going to yell at him or hang up. And again, out of 160 people that we talked to just a little bit ago in this class, I asked the question, 0 out of 160 conversations, did anybody yell at anybody or hang up or have anything except gratitude and respect?
With that script you're going to provide.
Yep.
Yep. Got it. Austin, I'm waiting for it. If you can find it. I want to make sure we get up in the replay.
I've got
So-
it. I'm just copy and pasting it. I'll get it to you right now.
Perfect. All right,
Yeah.
everyone's going to want it.
Oh, and go vote, guys. If you haven't done it, civic duty, go vote.
Oh, good. Yeah, show it. Put it right there. Today's voting day. It's November
Yeah.
what at the date of this recording? November 8th.
November 8th.
There.
Today's voting day.
For an election. Yep. So, all right. I do want to step back. I want to jump in here really quick. In order to execute a solid 36 touch, this is something Michael has done. This is someone that you guys should do. Just walk me through this. I just want to walk you through it really quickly. You pull out your cell phone. All right, pull out your cell phone and you go to the App Store, the Google Play Store, whatever it is, and you download Export Contacts by Covey, C-O-V-V-E. I'll pull it up here. Well, C-O-V-V-E, my screen share is all messed up. But it's Export Contacts by C-O-V-V-E. It's a simple app that will literally just take every single contact in your cell phone and send it to you as a CSV file. Beautiful. And hopefully you have some emails in there from people that may have synced over a period of time. In addition to that, you can log into your Gmail, which most of us use, or your Outlook, and you can click your address book and export everybody in your address book. All those people. All right. And there's instructions how to do that. In addition to that, you can also export all the people from your CRM. So all the people you put in your CRM or CRMs over the years, go and export all of those files. This is literally everyone you probably ever communicate with in your life. They have an email address with. Every salesperson should do this. All right.
Yeah.
Now,
100%.
a little tip is before you load them all up into an email marketing program, go check out, there's many companies that do this. The one that I use is neverbounce.com. Go take those lists and scrub them through Neverbounce. It'll remove all the bad emails. So now you have, 3, 4, 5 squeaky clean CSV files.
Well,
Then,
I'm gonna put a little pin on that. There's a reason why we want to scrub them through a never bounce, an unbounce, a mail, an Emma, all those things. And here's the reason, very simply: if we have too many emails that bounce, Gmail, Yahoo, whatever servers that they're using to host their email on is going to start blocking your email more and more and more as you send bad email. Like if it hits server too many times and it's gone to spam too many times, or they haven't they haven't put you on the white list, or they haven't or it gets bounced back, eventually Gmail is going to say, well, this guy's clearly a spammer and a marketer.
Yep.
Then the good contacts you do have will over time not receive your emails.
so scrub any list you export through some type of email cleaning service. There's a whole bunch of them.
And they're cheap.
They're cheap. And then go sign up for Constant Contacts, my Emma, I don't care. And then take all those emails and upload them into that email marketing program, and it will automatically deduplicate by email. So now you have a clean, scrubbed, exported, deduplicated list sitting in an email account. And you can also, I literally had a call with Facebook last week. You can also take that list, download it from Emma, which is like the deduplicated, scrubbed, one centralized list. And you can still upload it to Facebook as a custom audience. You can still do it. You just can't create a lookalike audience out of it.
Right.
So now you have all of your contacts ready to receive an ad from you or a boosted post from you in Meta. All right. And ready to receive an email. It's first step. And then second step, what Michael just said here is get your prospecting act together to speak to 50 people a week to add new emails to your database. Right.
Yeah.
So you reconnect with your current one. You have your prospecting system to add. Now let's talk about what you send out, Michael. What is the 36 touch?
That's a great question. I've got basically 3 levels to it: easy, medium, hard. And one thing I want to stress, guys, is this is not a situation where you need to be operating at 100% level, light speed day one, right? Build it over time. Do the little things first, then add a piece next month, add a piece next month, add a piece next month. I tried doing everything all at once and did nothing for like 2 years. And I couldn't even tell you how many hundreds of thousands of dollars that I did not receive in commission because there are people on my list that just didn't hear from me. So level number 1 is a twice a month email and a once a quarter phone call. So that's 28 touches right there, guys. That's huge. Okay. So in that email, I will send them a video, right? And it'll be 2 things. The first one is going to be a market update. What's happening in the local market here in Metro Detroit? What's happening? And niche down as far as you can, right? So if you're looking to target 1 or 2 very specific cities, like a Northville, Michigan, or a Birmingham, Michigan, or Royal Oak, Michigan, whatever that is, you can niche down as far as you need to. Just make sure, again, you have enough people you're sending to within that database to achieve your financial goals, which we'll talk about in a second as well. But 1 email a month is going to be a very, very, very simple market update. And again, grab your phone, just like Frank said, hit yourself with a video, pull a couple of stats out of the multiple listing service. And here's what I would do. I would pull the stat of how many homes went on the market in the last 30 days, how many homes went pending in the last 30 days, how many homes closed in the last 30 days, what's the current price per square foot in the area, and did that number go up or down from the 30 days previous? That's it. Like literally start your market updates that simple. If you guys go to my YouTube, you can see my market update. Please don't hesitate to go there and rip off and duplicate and deploy what I'm doing. So we do a market update. We actually do 2 a month now because the market's moving so rapidly. I do a lot of research into the jobs report, into inflation and all those things. You don't need to do that for 2 reasons. One, it's a lot of info to put together. And the second reason is I already do it. So just rip off mine and just take my script and then re-put it right into your phone. And I'm deadly serious about that. Like, I don't care. Use it. If it will help you, use my videos I currently have. Seriously. And I mean that. So that's 1 video per month right there. The second video per month that you want to send out is something local that's happening, right? Like as an example would be top 5 things to do in December in Metro Detroit. Right. So NASCAR actually conducted a very deep dive study into their own database, which is great. And here's what they found. First, NASCAR participation, their email open rates, and also their events were going down and down and down in participation through the later 2000s. But what they found was almost 70% of all of the entire NASCAR audience they have children that are school age. So NASCAR started sending emails out about local events that had nothing to do with NASCAR, like local to Nashville, local to Fort Myers, local to Austin, whatever that looked like. And they found that their email open rates went back up over 50% and their attendance went up because they were giving people something of value without the expectation of anything in return. And they just saw that NASCAR name over and over and over and over. So when the events happened, which they're very, very far spaced apart, they were more apt to open that email because there might be something good in there, whether it's an upcoming event or the fact that the circus is coming to town. So for us, as an example, in December, like we put out in our email that we're doing the Zoo Boo's Wild Lights, right? So the Detroit Zoo does wild lights where they actually deck the zoo in over what was it? I think it's 1.1 million lights. And then you get to go see the animals. It's at night. It's a really, really cool kid event. It does not cost that much, as opposed to like, let's say a musical or something like that. But it's a great thing that people may not think of or remember, and we can add value to the relationship by bringing that to them in the second email. Okay. Cool. So now we've got 24 emails a month or 24 emails a year going out, right? Then we backbone that with the quarterly phone call. If you do that and nothing more, but get super consistent around those 2 things, getting you to 28, I guarantee you, you're going to double or even triple whatever you're getting out of your database right now.
Absolutely. So that's just level 1.
That's level 1. All right. So level 2, now this is the fun one. This is where we start adding direct mail pieces in. And again, that's going to be a 1 per month, right? Now with that is going to come a heavier cost, both in design, either your time or somebody else's. It's going to be a heavier cost going to a mail house, having them printed and mailed, doing the mailing yourself, which I hope nobody does because it's terrible. It's a very arduous experience to try to bulk label anything. They don't make it very easy at the post office. Let me put it that way. There are some great vendors out there that will take care of everything, including design for you. And again, you want to make sure you're hitting the different personality profiles with the mailer. So on our monthly mailer to our past clients, we're putting out the market stats for the analyticals. We're putting out the reviews with the picture of the couple that we sold a home to, or we helped sell their home. They're usually holding a sold sign, and we're not having the conversation of, look what I did, I'm so great as a real estate agent. We're having the conversation of putting the review up there. We're putting another person up there with a picture and a write-up of what their story and their journey was, right? Because when we put these mailing pieces out, doesn't matter what we put out, we want to make sure that the consumer is the hero of the story, not us. It's not, we're so great because we sold this home. It's a, look at Jack and Jenny. They had just gotten married. They both each own homes independently. Now they're merging their families together. They need a third property that's bigger than the first, and they need to thread the needle so they weren't making 3 mortgage payments because they're already making 2. And we were able to get both homes sold, get them closing, get them moved without having to get them into a hotel, because we have great relationships here. We paid attention here. We worked with the co-op agents here, right? You want them to be the hero of the story, and we're simply the guide helping them out. Does that make sense?
I'll see if I can get an example of that mailer from Austin too.
Absolutely.
Love you, Austin. You're awesome here, man.
I know. Austin, thanks for being my first one for the time being. I appreciate you.
Level 3.
Yep. So level 3 is going to be events. And this is where it gets like really hardcore and more costly, but also so much more powerful than anything else. So like a good example of an event that we do every year is we do some sort of a movie event where we rent out the theater. So this year we rented out the Imagine Theater here local in Metro Detroit. We played Moana. Okay. Now the total cost for the ticket, it was 400 people that showed up. The ticket, a large soda, a candy, and a popcorn for all 400 people was around $4,000. Okay. Cheap, $10 a person. We were able, and part of the reason is because we went with Moana, and older movies don't have the same rights you have to purchase as newer movies. If we were doing something that's in theaters today, that's a whole different thing that frankly I don't want to deal with. Now, that really boosts it up, because if we do just 3 of those events a year, we're going to add 21 touches per year. And here's the reason why. Because Frank, if you're in my database and we're doing a Moana event, number 1, you're going to get an email with a video inviting you. You're going to get a mailer inviting you. You're going to get a phone call inviting you. You're going to get a text message inviting you. You're probably going to get another text message inviting you. There's going to be somebody filming the event itself. You're going to get that in another email as a follow-up. And then you're going to get a personal follow-up. It doesn't matter if you win or not. I don't care. 7
Yeah, we still see you. It's a reason to communicate. That's not pestering.
Yeah. Now the number one emotion, now this is the great thing. Number one emotion that we want to make sure we're playing off of at that point is the number one emotion that people have if they don't go to something. And that's not necessarily a fear of missing out. It's the fear of being missed, or the feeling of being missed. And here's what I mean by that. And I'll do a little role play. Ring, ring, Frank.
Hey, what's up? Who's this?
Frank, it's Mike Perna. How you doing, man?
Michael, good.
Man,
What do you want?
You guys went gaming and doing all the things the other day. How was that? I saw that on Facebook, I think.
It was actually good, man. I really had a good time. Thanks for seeing that and caring.
Dude, that's awesome. That's so amazing. I'm so happy for you. Hey, listen, I'm actually kind of mad at you right now. So we did this whole Moana thing, which was super cool, and we had like some really cool people out there. We had some cool vendors. We had a flipping great time, and I did not see you. What happened?
I don't know. I feel bad. You emailed and you called me and you texted me, and I just totally ignored you, Michael.
Bro, like I'm gonna tell you right now, how long have we known each other?
A long time, Michael.
It's been
you've been following up with me for 10 years after you sold my house.
That's right. That's right. And the least you can do is come eat my popcorn and watch the movie with me.
Yeah, I probably should have showed up. I'm sure that wasn't cheap. I appreciate all the free stuff you were going to give me there for me and my family.
Yeah. Hey, listen, no, in all seriousness, I did miss you at that event, and I was actually looking forward to reconnecting with you. I tell you what, we've got our next event already planned out. We're going to do a pie day giveaway. It's here at the office. We're going to have a couple hundred pies. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a photographer on site. So if you want to,
you do it every year. I will totally drive by and get one.
Okay. Well, I'm going to text you right now to make sure you have the address. Save that. My expectation is that I'm going to see you, I'm going to see the kids, I'm going to see the wife, I'm going to see everybody. And we've got a photographer here. Get your family fall photos done while you're here, and get a pie.
That's
And say,
nice.
okay,
I would love a pie. Sounds great.
who doesn't want a pie?
Sounds good. As long as it's not a giant snowstorm in Detroit, I'll be there.
Yeah, pretty much. Um, so I'm trying to bring value to the relationship because, well, for a couple of different reasons. But doing these events gives me a couple of different things. One, it gives me a reason to call them even if they didn't show up. Right? People want to be missed. Is that fair? Like,
Yeah, you can call them now because they didn't show up. I love it.
it's a real emotion. It's actually a
It's
powerful call than
the
that.
benefit of the event is just for someone not comfortable calling and talking about real estate yet, it gives them another reason to call that's not so
Yes,
business.
absolutely. And the fear of being missed is actually stronger than the fear of, or the feeling of me giving gratitude to somebody that stopped by. Like the hey, thank you for stopping by. It was great to catch up with you. That call is actually less powerful than the one where I'm missing. And I'm retraining the same ground 3 times because I want to make sure people understand on the Zoom how strong that verbiage and that language really is, and how much it gets across.
Last step, Michael. I want to keep this moving. We got about 5-6 minutes. This is good
Oh.
stuff. But dude, Michael, how long you been doing this?
Oh my gosh, I can go for another hour and a half. Okay,
You
okay.
can go for a week, but hang on. Last step. We talked about reconnecting with the list. Well, we started with what's going on in the market.
Yep.
And we talked a little bit about the prospecting foundation of talking to 50 people a week.
Yep.
Right. Then we discussed how to reconnect with the list. Let's grab the existing list.
Yep.
Let's talk to 50 people a week to build the list.
Yep.
You shared the 3 levels of a 36 touch campaign.
Yep.
Here's my last question. All this stuff is going out.
Mm-hmm.
Are you using any of that data to prioritize follow-up?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I am. And here's
You
how.
can.
Yeah.
You
Well, here's
can.
how.
I mean,
Yeah, and I'll tell you how I prioritize follow-up. I've got an A list and a B list because over time your sphere is going to get so big and there's only so many hours in a day, right? So how I do it is I don't use any big data or analytics or stuff like that, which is of course great to use. I just haven't used it. Actually, Frank, you talk about that a lot, and you've got some great resources for that. Which
you had the people opening the emails, clicking the links, the people opting into the web forms.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, then that's it. So I'm using, and again, I'm going to level it out. And my number 1 is going to be the people that have either replied back or clicked on the links. Simply put, my number 2 is actually, my second level is actually, I'm going to prioritize by people that have referred me in the past. And then it's everybody else. So here's what this looks like. So a lot of people like myself have way too many people in the database. Like if you actually picked up your phone and you scroll to the very bottom of your contacts, it will tell you how many contacts you have in your database. I just did this exercise with a couple of my agents, and some of them had 12, 13, 14, 1,500 people. And that gets really arduous and really difficult to follow up with as much as you'd like, right? As much as one would want to. So here's how I advise my agents to prioritize, or advise people to prioritize. Keep a top 100 list. And base that on the people that are most likely to give you a referral or have in the past. And then put everybody else on the second list. The top 100, you got to be sure that you hit at least once every 60 days. The rest of them, you can go half a year, right? And the way that I prioritize it, and you're going to laugh at this one, but I use kind of the cheeseburger method. Hey, Frank, do you know a great place to get a cheeseburger?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're probably going to go on my A list then. Because if somebody can't refer a great cheeseburger or a great steak,
For a great agent.
they're not going to refer me. That's for sure. Like some people were not built with that personality profile to refer people. And frankly, I'm
Michael,
one.
there's not very many people that would use that script, but that is right up your alley. That's good.
Yeah, it really is.
That's a good one.
Like I'd be like, where's a great cake? Or where's a great steak?
Yeah.
Or whatever that looks like, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people say, oh, I don't know. Even though they just had a great steak yesterday. Right?
Yeah.
They're not going to, they're not going to
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that I'm connecting with the people with the highest frequency that are the most likely ones to remember myself and my business when the time comes that somebody's talking about real estate.
Last question. How does Austin help you with all of this? And then for us, how does Viral help you with all this?
Sure. Austin's really great at getting scripts together and postcards together.
And what's Austin's job, just so everyone knows?
So Austin's my director of sales. He's an amazing partner that I have. And he helps me with, and my 110 agents, to be sure that we're doing the jobs that we need to be doing. Make sure we're calling the people, connecting with the people, doing the follow-up with leads, doing the follow-up with past clients, making sure that we're exporting the databases. All of those things are getting done so that our agents can live the life that they want to live. The purpose of selling real estate is not to sell real estate, it's to fund a perfect life. But to do that, and I think anybody can acknowledge and appreciate this, we need coaching in our life, and we need somebody to hold us accountable. I have 4 coaches myself right now, literally 4 coaches, because there's no way I can hold myself accountable to the level that I want to get my people to the level that I want them to be at, right? So if you don't have a coach, get a coach. If you need an accountability partner, call somebody and ask them. And make sure it's somebody that's not going to let you off the hook, right? Accountability is not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. Winners lean into it. The people that will do well in this market coming up lean into accountability. Now, as far as it goes, get viral. Frank, if I remember right, I think I'm client number 6 of yours.
Yeah. You're one of the very first people that signed up when I started this right out of college, back
That's
in like the the close Mike Ferry world.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, good Lord. God, that's going back far.
Yeah.
Frank, you have done a great job with, and thank you for this, by the way.
Thank you.
You've done a great job with holding me accountable to make sure my videos get done. Here's what I love about viral. I've got 2 times a month that I get on the phone with one of his coaches, with one of Frank's coaches, and they literally just say, they ship me a camera. So first off, they ship me a camera. Then they say, okay, turn the camera on and say these words. Okay, now say these words. Okay, now say these words. And because it's an appointment on the calendar with another human that I don't want to miss, I actually am held accountable by Frank and his program to do both those videos every single month. They edit it and then they email it out. Like, that's it. That's how I don't have to do any editing. I don't have to do the shooting itself. I don't have to come up with the scripts other than a couple of local market numbers where to get off the MLS 5 minutes before the call with one of Frank's guys. Literally, they handle all of it. And then I get an open and click report a couple days later. So I know who to call. Like, they make it that easy. Like, as long as this webinar is, that's all it takes with Frank's people to create, shoot, and get out 2 emails a month with video.
Well, you got about 30 minutes of content here in your webinar. Good job, Michael.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
What are all the ways someone can get involved with you in your world if they like what you're doing, what you stand for, and what you're accomplishing?
Absolutely. I mean,
An agent.
an agent. Okay. Number one, we are always looking for great team members. We have an amazing ISA group that's funding. I think we booked 470 appointments last month for our agents, and we don't have enough agents to cover them. That's number one.
Wow.
Yeah.
You said 470 appointments?
Yeah.
You need to market that hardcore, man, that we book your appointments. That's insane.
Yeah, I really got to do a better job with that one. I mean, I feel like we're a well-kept secret. Well, at least
Okay, keep going. That's good.
Is a well-kept secret.
Yeah.
We're number 5 in the nation as far as Zillow spend goes as a premier agent of any agent, all states. But I'll say this. I would love to have a conversation with anybody, anytime that has questions about anything. And this is not a recruiting thing or anything like that. This is a true, and for anybody on the call that knows me, they know this to be true, or I trust they know this to be true. Call me, text me, email me anytime. Okay. I love helping people, and a lot of that just goes to the give back. Over the last 21 years, I have had so many people that have helped me through the years. I feel the right thing to do is while I was reaching a hand up, looking for people to pull me up, reach a hand down to pull up the next guy too. Seriously.
You've always been very good at that, Michael. And thanks for giving this little webinar here today. Austin, you had to have much time to talk. There's just so much knowledge in a short period of time to get Michael to share what everyone came here for. Austin, in charge of sales, is there anything you'd like to add to the audience before we wrap it up today?
Yeah, Frank, thanks for the opportunity. I think this is really cool, and thank you, man. Look, when things get hard, it's something that actually I was talking to one of our coaches about yesterday, and I would love to say it to the community in full in general is, look, this is an environment of encouragement. And there's a lot of people out there that need to be encouraged. There's a lot of buyers and sellers that need to be encouraged. There's a lot of your co-ops that need to be encouraged. There's a lot of your business partners that need to be encouraged. And so what I would say to you is, so much of what we do is mental. Like none of these scripts are hard. It's just a conversation with people, but nothing can be heavier than this stinking cell phone when you get in your own head. And so you all are going to go out there in the world today. And one of the things that Mike does a great job, and Frank, you do an amazing job with, is giving away information and being generous And we all have that ability to pay that forward. And so you're going to run into a situation, or you're going to run into an environment where you have the ability to be encouraging. Take advantage of it. Someone encouraged you somewhere along the way, and it really pushed you forward. And the harder things get, don't forget that this is a human experience that we're all going through. And the harder things get, encourage people, love people. And that means put someone else's needs above your own. The world is going to pay you back anyway, right? And so it's a big thing that I've been trying to do with our team, or intending to do with our team, is just be encouraging. Hey, we got this. As a community, we got this. And Mike's given away a bunch of information. It's awesome. You give away a bunch of information. Like, we can all win together. Like, seriously, we can all win together. There's more than enough. You got this, you got this, you got this, you got this, you got this. Find a reason to encourage somebody.
Austin, thank you. Michael, thank you for your time too. We'll get this replay up for everyone to watch. And I think we nailed it of what we promised. I'll let you guys get on with your day. Thank you for carving out 30 minutes for this. Everyone's very
Absolutely.
appreciative.
Thank you for having us, Frank. I appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching.
See you, Frank.